This is my much loved Panasonic Lumix Lx100, and I recently published a video talking about how much I love this little camera, but it had one major issue, and that was sensor dust. And a lot of people that use this camera commented and said that they'd experienced the same. One of the tips that people advised, and what I advised in my own video, was to shoot it wide open. So I was going on a trip and I wanted to take it with me. I planned to just shoot wide open, but when I switched it on to check it out, there was one major problem. A hair had got into it and onto the sensor, which was much worse than when I previously reviewed this camera and talked about the dust issue. I'm blaming you, Motley. As you can see from this little clip of the back of the camera, while the camera was pointed at a blank piece of paper, you can see the hair is quite prominent in the LCD display on the back. And also check out this picture I took in my garden of the sky. You can see the hair is absolutely massive. It pretty much renders the camera unusable, in my opinion anyway. An absolute disaster. However, on my previous video, I received a couple of comments from Red Robbo's Workshop and Simon Crockford 8251 saying that they'd experienced sensor dust also, but managed to use a hoover to suck the dust out. So I wanted to give that a go and see if I could make this camera usable again. For this quick fix, I decided to cut the end off a drinks bottle with a Stanley knife and then attach it to the hoover nozzle with some gaffer tape. So here we are with the Lucozade bottle gaffer tape to the end of the hoover nozzle. Let's go. After the first round of hoovering, I was pleasantly surprised when checking out the back of the camera that the hair had been sucked out. So I was off to a great start. I went out into my garden and I took this photo, and unfortunately sensor dust remained on the image. So it was time for round 2 with the hoover. After round 2, I went into the garden, I took this image, and yet again there was still sensor dust. So I brought the camera back inside. Let's go for third time lucky and see what happens. And unfortunately, we've still got some sensor dust. On the 4th attempt, I decided to fire the shutter a few times and also change the aperture, zoom in and out, and change the focusing to see if that would make a difference. I did get a fantastic photo of the inside of the bottle, but unfortunately I could not resolve the sensor dust issue. This could be because my hoover sucked, or didn't suck enough in this case. But it's not the greatest hoover in the world, it is a pretty cheap one, and yeah, could likely be just down to that. I'm not sure. Unfortunately, that does mean that, yeah, I still have sensor dust in the camera. Although I don't have the big hair no more, so maybe I could go out and shoot with this wide open and see if the pictures are still usable. So let's take it for a test shoot and see what images we get. I decided to head out round the corner from my house and shoot these cars to get warmed up. They're always there and they have absolutely fantastic colours and a whole lot of style. I shot most of these images at f4 or f5.6 with the camera set to aperture priority. I was pretty surprised, even looking in the back of the camera, I didn't see any signs of sensor dust, so I knew it was time to continue with the shoot. I found this merry-go-round near Clifford's Tower and got a cool picture of the horse. I just absolutely loved the vibrant colours. And then I headed off into town to do some street photography. I came across this guy smoking and washing the floors. I thought he looked great. Next, I liked the framing of this van. A tourist was getting their photo taken, the light looked really good. And then I found this archway and I've managed to capture a lady walking by in a flowery top. Next, there was a guy sleeping on a bench. Thought this made quite a cool image. Then I sat down next to this chap, and his umbrella on the bench just made it look really, really cool. And finally I got this image on my way home of a guy sat on a building block outside the structure that's holding up the front of the banana warehouse. I just got home because we was losing light and it looked like it was starting to rain, and I've edited the images and I am pleasantly surprised that I didn't see any signs of dust in the images. Now I did shoot all my photos at aperture f5.6 or below, and the idea behind doing that was not to butcher my images shooting at a closed aperture and filling them with sensor dust. It was to test if this camera was still going to be a usable camera in my collection and had a purpose, and I could still take it out, shoot with it and enjoy doing so. And I really did. Even though I was just out for an hour, I got some good photos that I enjoyed taking and I enjoyed the experience. So this camera's a keeper and it will stay in my collection, and hopefully I'll get lots more enjoyment shooting with it. If you didn't see my previous video about shooting with this camera, I did share some of my favourite images that I've ever taken in that video, so go check that one out. And if you want to see more of my street photography, I recently took a trip to Barcelona and did loads and loads of street photography there. I'll link both of those videos at the end of this one. Yeah, if you've enjoyed this video, drop me a comment. If you've got any other ways to get rid of the sensor dust in this camera, drop me a comment and let me know. Give the video a like, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.